Hey everybody, it's Senior Sales Director Renee Riley. We are here live in Virginia Beach. Say hi everybody. Hello. And we are live streaming tonight's consultant training because we have people all across the country who aren't here as you lovely women are and want to learn what we are all learning. So we are going to do two topics tonight, and one of them is very near and dear to my heart. You know, there are 4 pillars to your Mary Kay business. And if you are missing any one of these 4 pillars, you're probably not going to go as far or where you want to go. They are time management, money management, emotional management, and leadership skills. Whether you want to be a director or not, those 4 things are really important for all of us to master. And so a lot of times, I'm the time management junkie. I'm the girl who is going to yell at you about time management until I turn blue in the face, because I really do believe it is the critical and preliminary first step to being successful in anything you want to do. I don't care if it's your job or your Mary Kay business or building a family or whatever you want to do. Time management is super important. But today we are going to be talking about the second pillar, money management. Because I find a lot of consultants maybe aren't either earning what they want to earn, or maybe they feel like they're selling a lot, but they don't know where the money goes. Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to talk about working your business 60-40. And I know this is something that most consultants are exposed to, but today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to actually apply it, you guys. Because, you know, you can talk about theoretical concepts all day long, but until you put it into place in your business, it doesn't help you any, right? So how many, if anybody in the room feel like super confident that they're working their business 60-40 consistently and tracking it?
Not tracking, but I tried to mentally do it.
Mentally do it, right. Okay, so Meryl does, so great. So 1 in 10. I would say, I'd say that's pretty accurate. I usually find about 1 in 10 people that are tracking it and really doing it. I know that it's important. Yeah. Okay. And so I know that it's important to know not only what money's coming in, but what money's going out, right? Because what happens sometimes is we have a facial or a double facial and sell 2 for $99, and then on the way home we stop for a shake at Hardee's and we fill up the tank of gas, and by the time we place our reorder, we're like, where's the money? Gone. So we're going to talk about how to track your money. I created a tool online. Our fabulous Kristen Moisette is going to tag team on this part with me. And it's just a spreadsheet, you guys. And if spreadsheets scare you or make you nervous, they shouldn't. I think a lot of people's fear of math comes from not understanding symbolic reasoning. And I think that that's a core principle. Yes.
Me. I don't like that.
Okay. So, but you do, because math is your friend, because it's going to make you rich. So if you think you don't like math, stop that thought, because it's not true. What you don't like is not understanding. That's what we don't like, right? We don't like when we can't figure it out and it seems complicated and we're overwhelmed. What we do like is when we make lots of money. And so I'm going to help you to track your money so that you know at least where it's going. So the principle behind working your business 60-40 is that you want to set aside a little bit of savings. Yes, we earn 50% profit on everything we sell, but it's also important that we set aside a little extra money for business expenses. Lots of our business expenses are tax deductible, and tax education is something that I'm also very passionate about, but is not tonight's topic, so we will not get off track on it. But, sheet of paper. Okay, so for the purpose of this example, we will use round numbers. Yes, I understand that our prices are not usually round numbers, but we're going to start with just $100 sale. So if you have a notebook or a piece of paper, write 100 at the top of the sheet of paper. So let's say that for this exercise, we're not including sales tax or any of those things, because what do we do in Mary Kay? We pay sales tax up front on the retail value of the product so that when we collect sales tax, we break even. So you don't have to calculate anything about sales tax except for the sales tax you don't collect. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But for this exercise, let's just not talk about tax because you should be breaking even on tax. Everybody good? Mm-hmm. So $100 is collected. Little treetop underneath the 100, right? So 50 of those dollars are going to go to restocking. And so restocking is a really important concept, especially if you have inventory. Because I know for me, I was all the way through DIQ, you guys, without still really understanding working my business 60/40. So that's why I'm a little bit stickler about it, because I think it's really important that you understand how and through what channels you are making your money. I am a high I personality type, meaning details bore me. I want to be fun and loud. We're making money, whatever. I don't care. When you make enough money, you don't care where it goes. And so I was always just like, this is great. That is a way to make yourself poor. So don't do that. Not that I did, but I'm just saying you're losing money if you're not tracking. So $50 of the 100 is going to go to replace the product, right? Because we pay half for our products. So that part is always going to be the same. The other half is our profit, right? 50 of those dollars are your profit. So little other side of the tree is 50, and that's profit. But in that 50, if you draw a little tree branch out of that, we encourage that you save 10%. And so 10% is basically enough for you to cover things like your samples and your preferred customer program enrollment and your registration for things like the Brittany Capps course or the holiday pace setters or cotton rounds, I don't know, supplies, things like that. Now, those are all tax deductible expenses, but you need to pay for them upfront. And I'd rather you have that money coming out of your business than your pocket. Make sense? Okay, so 10% is going to go into a savings account. And then the other 40% is what we call your quote unquote true profit. From that 40% is where you would be paying off inventory if you have inventory that you're still paying off. So you're always restocking your inventory, you guys, with the $50 that is on the floor. The $50 that is on the left-hand side. Because if you don't restock as you're selling, you're embezzling from your own business, and you're going to have to invest in inventory again, right? If you just sell it and keep all the profit, thank you, Kristen. I'm still in pregnant Kristen mode. I was like, no, don't bend over. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not pregnant. Like I'm not pregnant. So we want to always be restocking the 50%. So one of the really easy ways to make sure you're tracking that piece of it is when you sell something after an appointment, create an order on InTouch that is just your restock order. You can just leave it there and save it. You don't have to actually check out at that time. But after every appointment, I just put in that little cart whatever I sold so I know what to replace. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. This makes sure that you're not over ordering either, you guys. It's really important that you order back what you have. Now, if you're ordering every 3 days because you're running out of stuff all the time, you might need to increase your inventory, and that's a different discussion. But if you have the right inventory for your level of activity in your business, you should only be replacing what you sell. Make sense? That's the 50%. The other 50% we split into 10% for savings, for your business savings, and 40% your true profit. So that's what you're actually going to pay yourself. So in this example, someone gave you $100 for their order. You took 50 of the dollars and put them in your business checking account to reorder. You took $10 to put in your business savings account for all your business expenses. And you took 40% and literally paid yourself $40. Does that all make sense? And it did to me too. I was like, yeah, that's fine. But guess what? I never paid attention to this, you guys. I really didn't. And it's silly because it's simple to track. So what I created, and I know this isn't going to be something that everyone can see all at once. I'm sorry for you online people. But it's basically a spreadsheet with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns. So 10 columns going this way. And they're labeled, so all you have to do is put in 2 numbers. Does that feel overwhelming?
No. Can I have it?
Yes, I'm going to send it and post it and share it and box it and email.
Can I have it?
You need to put in the subtotal. So write this down. Subtotal equals retail value of product moved. retail value of product moved. So if someone bought a miracle set from you, what would that number be?
95.
95. Now, if you individually buy the products to make up a miracle set, the cost of it is $108, but we purchased it at that bundled price of $95. So that's the retail value of the product moved, because that's what the person pays you and that's what you pay for it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's the first number you put in. And then the second number you're going to put in is the actual money collected before taxes. So the spreadsheet calculates the sales tax on the retail value. So on the $95, for example.
What if you sell to somebody who's out of state and different?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute. The retail value of the sales tax is in the next column. The sales tax you actually collected is in the next column. And the reason that that's important is that at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you actually get to claim all of the unrecovered sales tax. So for example, let's say someone bought a miracle set, a mascara, and an eyeliner. Nope, that's not what I did the example on. A miracle set, a mascara, and a lip gloss. So that'd be $125 retail. That would go in the first column. In the second column, I did a 2 for $99 for her, let's say. So she only gave me $99. That was way too much of a discount, but anyway. Okay, so in the second column is $99, because that's what I'm actually going to charge her before tax. The sales tax is calculated at the 6% level. If you have someone who is in a different state, you're probably going to be CDSing the order. So the sales tax gets calculated for you.
Okay.
If you're doing it yourself, you can go in and change it. Each column has a formula, and where it says 0.06, you would put in the actual tax rate if you want to. That's a good question. Okay, and again, you're going to be paying a different tax rate than they're paying. So it's important to note that if you ever get audited. The sales tax that you actually collect is already calculated for you at the 6% of the subtotal that you actually collected. And then the non-recovered sales tax is calculated, so the difference between those two. Because you paid sales tax as if you were going to collect $125 and you only collected $99. So that unrecovered sales tax is calculated for you. And at the end of the year, you're just going to take the total and you get to deduct that on your taxes. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to charge tax on the full retail value of it. Though.
That's incorrect. Yeah.
Even though we charge $99, we don't charge the sales tax on the $125.
Nope. We learned that in, I know, and she was wrong, and we're not infallible.
That's so then we're writing off what we don't collect because we've basically already paid that.
That's good.
So we don't charge sales tax at all?
Has to do
no, you charge it on whatever you collect. So in this example, the retail value of the product is $125, but I only charged her $99. I'm giving her a discount. Okay. So I charge sales tax on the discounted amount, which is less than what I paid when I bought the product. So that difference I get to deduct on my taxes.
Okay.
So in this example, the actual sales tax would have been $11.50. But since I gave it to her for $99, the sales tax collected is only $9.15. I'm doing this in Tennessee. Thank you. This is Tennessee sales tax. This was from my Tennessee consultant. The non-recovered sales tax is at $2.40. And so that would have been my loss. So I get to deduct it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. The next thing that is calculated is the total number of dollars that you collected, including the sales tax, just because I think that's useful. And the discount that you actually offered. In this example, it was a $25 discount. So I can know what I've been giving away. That's an important thing for you to track, because especially if you're not doing all your appointments here at the studio, you want to kind of keep in a tab on how much hostess credit you're giving away. A lot of times we feel like we're giving away a lot more than we actually are, and I found that through tracking too. The next thing that it calculates is your reorder amount. Yay! So it tells you exactly what your reorder in terms of retail value should be. wholesale value. So it calculates 50% of the actual retail value that you moved, right? Because even though you gave it to her for $99, you moved a Miracle Set, a lip gloss, and a mascara. You need to put that back on your shelf. So the discount comes out of your profit, not out of what the product costs you, right? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Some glaze. No? You're good? Okay. And then the next thing it calculates is your 10% business savings. So it takes your money that you collected before taxes and calculates 10%, which is going to go into your savings account. Make sense? Then it calculates your profit. And that column says, pay yourself. So that's 40% of the money you collected before taxes. So again, the reason this can be confusing is there's several categories. There's the value of the stuff, there's what you actually charge, and then there's the percentages of what you actually charge.
So I think what's confusing me is you're talking about you did this based on if you purchased the product like in the Miracle Set individually, right? Because when we buy it as a bundle, it says on there that it's $95.
Right. Yes, I was just saying that's what we're doing is whatever we paid, that's what it should be calculated on.
Okay.
I'm
saying
sorry.
like 125, and I was like,
That was with
that was
mascara and lip gloss.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I gave her a 2 for $99 deal.
I had blonde put my hair this week. I see that.
It's very pretty.
Showing.
So the reason that I like this is that I've made a tab for each week. If you're not working your business a whole lot and you want just a tab for each month, you can do whatever you'd like. But the reason I have it set up that way is that there are slots for 30 faces or slots for however many faces you want to have in it. And what it does is it automatically sums the reorder amount, the amount you pay yourself, and the savings amount. And so I like to do that weekly. So mine is set up for weeks because I have Money Monday, like we learned in the Sharp Smart Businesswoman course. So I like to do it once a week, but let's say you're only having 2 appointments a month. You can have it just total for the month, and then that tells you what your reorder and your savings and your profit should be. Does anyone have questions about how that works? Yes.
So,
Yeah, I'm going to send it around. Yeah.
can we steal your assistant?
Oh, I don't do this for people. I don't know if you saw, but I'm a director.
I have an assistant that does this for me.
I pay people. No. But that is a good segue to our next point, which is don't do the penny jobs, you guys. If this is overwhelming for you, hire a math major at $8 an hour or give them free pizza. College. Not you. Not you personally. You were representing all math majors in the world. Just honestly, find a college student or a high school student who would want to enter that stuff for you. It honestly is just 2 numbers though. Like you don't really need to understand any of this. You need to put in the retail value. You just put in $125, right, for the mascara, lip gloss, and Miracle Set, and then the $99 because that's what you collected. Everything else is done for you.
Automatically.
Right. Right. The formulas are copied there, so don't touch anything else.
You'll mess up the formula. I've done that before.
But that's the cool part is you don't have to think so hard about, okay, what's 60 every time. No, you don't ever have to have that thought again. Yes.
So if you said that there's a part on the list that will tell you what to reorder, correct? Or do you
The amount.
The amount,
The way that I track what to reorder is through the in-touch order. I make an order of everything. That would be a way to double check your math, would be to say, okay, well, my order subtotal is $62.50, and that's what this is too. Yeah.
One, thank you so much for doing this because this is so helpful. 2, the other thing is that I know for me when I'm reordering, something that also takes from my savings or for my business account is the tax that I have to pay on the shipping because it's
CDS.
Freedom. Well, no, I'm talking about like if I'm placing an inventory order and how that actually like how you have to pay that front. And so because
it should be $3.60 every time.
CDS or just your whole
No,
inventory?
your inventory order, because it's a flat $9.35.
But it, no,
They charge
yeah,
a
they
tax
charge
on
a
your
tax.
shipping.
Yeah,
Right.
but the shipping is the same. every
I'm
time.
sorry, I said shipping, I meant the tax. So the tax on the front. Okay, so yes, the shipping is always the same, but you're also
The
paying
tax
the
on the
tax
shipping.
on it. Yeah.
Yes.
And so for some of that, like that's not money that you already you're paying that ahead of time.
Mhm.
And so
You should take that out of your business savings account.
Okay.
Yes, that's a very good question. So she's saying that you pay the tax up front, like we just discussed. So you would have recovered that tax on what you originally had on your shelf. And so you're paying it up front for the next time you sell it. That's correct. So that should come out of that 10% that tax. But I would do this math first and physically move the money and then take it out to cover. So if you only leave the 50% for reorders in your business checking account or ProPay or wherever you're going to keep it, yes, you would have to then move some money for the tax. I get that that's annoying, but that's where the business expenses should be coming from, not out of the reorder amount. Like you always want to reorder exactly what you
Correct.
sold. Does that answer your question?
it does, but I can what I'm
Okay.
Is that also
No.
like, so if you're, because you charged a discount in this scenario, but if you charged full retail, that's when you should have recouped the tax that you'd already paid on the product?
Well, if you
Okay.
had,
You're just
If you-
taking a smaller profit, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, so that you would have, so that's what you meant by like breaking even, is if you didn't offer a discount.
correct, you're
Okay.
breaking even because when I bought that Miracle set, I paid $11.56 in tax for it, or sorry, whatever, all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah,
And so when I charge you that $11.56, I'm recouping that money. And she's just saying, when I go to place my reorder, I have to pay that tax again. Where does that money come from? That money comes from the 10% account that's your business savings supply. Yeah. And I know that's a little extra step, but it's much better for you to keep those monies separate and pull from the savings account for those kinds of things like your taxes than to just be guessing.
Back to what Jennifer said, when you give that discount and you don't collect all of that tax because you've given a discount, you're not charging it on the 125, you're charging it on the 99,
Mhm.
kind of cut you about $2 short.
Exactly.
So at
$2.40.
that point, when you go to do the reorder, like Rebecca was saying, where is that coming
From the 10%
10%.
savings.
so your supplies and like stuff.
So when you build your order and you go to check out of InTouch, like you've actually built your reorder because you sold those 3 items and that's all you sold all month and you're just going to reorder. Okay, so you get to checkout and the shipping is on there, the tax of the retail amount is on there, and all you collected was 99 plus 9 in tax, right? And so you're short $2.40 plus $9.35 in shipping.
Right.
That should come out of your savings, the 10%, because that's business savings. Now-
the other side was 50, the other 50% profit, that split again.
Right. So 50 is for the restocking. This 50 is split into 40 and 10, and that 10% is all, and the reason that we have it set up that way, you guys, is those are all tax deductions. You deduct all your shipping, all your freight shipping, all of your CDS shipping, all of your tax that you got unrecovered. So that's all going to get back to you on your taxes. So it's important to keep that separate from the restocking, which is never going to change. And if this is like overly confusing, just look at the spreadsheet. The reorder amount is what you should have in your cart. And then if you need extra money, pull it out of the 10%. Does that make sense? Cool. So the reason this is important, you guys, is that it's going to set you up for never feeling out of stock of things. So one of the things that we have given everyone, and if you don't have one, we can give you one as you walk out, is a supply list, right? And so if you're new, we'll get you one. But it's basically just everything you should have out for your guests for a skincare class and a color class. And it's meant to just kind of be like a checklist. So you can be like, check, check, got it, next. But what's important to note is that we also have this expanded for seeing 30 faces a month for the quarter. So if you were going to see 90 faces over 3 months, how many of these things would you actually need to have, right? And if you're a more kind of piecemeal person and you like to do it once a month, divide by 3. But we have it set up so that you can know exactly what to order once a quarter to have enough supplies to see 30 faces a month.
I've been that.
We have posted it, and I'll email it again in this training. Well, this
Probably
is
on
just
the
the,
That's the list. I
Yeah.
just meant the number part.
the number part is a separate document.
Yeah.
And so the what to order every quarter is just if you feel overwhelmed by it, you can do like just make sure you have at least one of everything. If you're not working your business a lot, it's still important to just have what you need so that your guest gets the best experience. You guys, you sell more product when you're prepared and you have all you need to show. And so I thought that was a bunch of baloney until I started doing things the right way. And then I started selling way more product because people had what they needed to try. And so I demo everything that we do here at the studio at my personal appointments now. And guess what? I make the same money at both. Shocking. I know. Rocket science. You guys are just like, why am I in front of this lady? But I'm just being honest with you that we don't make this stuff up because it like feels good or I get a kickback on section 2 that my consultants are. No, I'm doing it because it serves you. It's going to serve your clients and you're going to have better results. I don't like, I know, because I don't know, you get kind of angry, right? When you're like not really working and you're frustrated and you're like, nah, lip gloss. I don't want to buy more lip gloss samples. Can't I just pull it out of the tube and smear it on their tray? No, it's not as nice. Okay, step down off my soapbox because I was that girl. That's why I'm so angry about it. It's because I was always like, gosh, sample. $2 a face. We did the math. It's $2 a face for you to cover every single sample wand in a cello bag with a like beauty book and all of that. So I know it's like, what? I don't want to spend $25 on lip gloss. You're not. And it's tax deductible. Thank you. We will have a separate tax conversation. Not for today. So is everyone clear on working your business 60/40? A, number 1, why it's important, and B, number 2, how you can put in those 2 numbers and see what you need to see. Okay.
Do you
Perfect.
have to have Excel or anything to use
No.
that sheet that you're sending out?
I hate Microsoft, and so we're using Google Sheets,
Yay!
which has stolen the intellectual property of Microsoft. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but so it'll be on a Google Sheet that you can edit at your own discretion. So everybody good? Thank you.
first.
Did you want to add anything about 60/40?
No, you did it right.
Okay, so friends, and other thing about that 10% account is I have never used the full amount. I have never used the full amount of the 10% for samples, and so even with buying registration for advance and tickets and all of that stuff, 10% is way more than you will
So you
ever
have
need.
left over in case we need
Yeah.
it.
So guess what I do with it? I pay myself every 6 months. I write myself a little 10% check.
I have a question that's probably stupid.
It's not.
It's a stupid question. Okay, so you have an actual separate savings account
Yes.
for your 10%.
That's a great question.
So-
Not stupid at all.
And you have a checking account
Yes.
for like,
My business checking account.
which is for your profit or for the reorders?
Right. And so I have my personal checking account, which is where I pay myself. I literally transfer $40 for every $100. I literally do that once a week. I take 40% and I pay myself into my personal checking account. The business checking account for my 50% for the left side of the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I leave the 50%, which in this example was $62.50, in my business checking account. I have a business savings account, which none of these are actually business accounts. FYI, they're all personal accounts because
Yeah,
ain't
they
nobody
charge
gonna
you.
keep $300,000 balance in there. I'm like, okay. And they tried to charge me a $12 fee one time, and I was like, oh no, you didn't. You are gonna remove that fee. I've been banking with you anyway. So banking, nope. Business checking account is where the restocking money goes. business savings account. I like physically put 10% every Monday. I physically put 10% in this business savings, and then I literally take 40%, which is usually in ProPay, unless people just paid me cash or with checks, and I deposit
Move
that.
it from your ProPay, because like that's like I think my hang up is like all my money's sitting either in my ProPay account, or
Right,
if I
and
have
that's what I
customers
did.
like pay me.
I'll
And
never forget the phone call. Brittany Mitchell was like, well, what's your ProPay balance? And I was like, I don't know, a couple grand. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I just
So
leave
you
the
have
money
it
in there.
automatically set to go to your business.
I do it on Mondays. It's automatically linked, but I have to like physically say transfer X
Amount of dollars.
And that's what this is going to tell
Do
you.
you
So
keep any
transfer.
money in your ProPay?
No. On Mondays I clear it up.
So
'Cause
on
there's-
Monday is your day to pull everything from ProPay and put in your checking. And on that same day, that is the day that because on Monday it's not gonna hit your banking account on
Right.
that day.
I don't place my order. I place my orders on the 14th and the 28th.
So you move it from your ProPay to your checking, and then you move your 10% from your checking to your savings.
Yeah, because it's literally 2 clicks. Like transfer funds, like on my app for my bank, I hit transfer funds. I look at this. It tells me it's $12.50, and I move $12.50.
Then you have your transaction fee from ProPay. So where does that come in?
That's-
You're not transferring.
That's a tax deduction, so I don't even use that in my calculation.
So,
So if there's ever lack in terms of the reorder amount because of something like that, I pull it from the 10% account, like the shipping and the tax and the transfer fees. So you get all transfer fees back. At the end of the year, you're going to click reports on ProPay, and they have an end of year report that gives you all of your fees, and you get that back on your taxes.
oh, okay.
You get
just print that out.
Yep. And so you get any of the business expenses, you guys, there's really no business expenses that we don't get to deduct, really.
I think it's not necessarily like a thing. I know the 60/40. It's the managing of
Right,
it
exactly.
effectively is what I have an issue with, because like I said, my money's still like either sitting in my ProPay account or it's in my personal checking account
Right.
because people wrote me a check.
Right, and that's why it's important. I'm so glad you asked that question. Honestly, that was like, why didn't I mention that? To have 3 separate places for your money.
Okay.
There should be a business checking account, a business savings account, and your personal, whatever you actually have as your money. And that's where your 40% should go. Great question. It was not stupid at all. It was a critical part of the training that I totally forgot. All right, we're all good with that. So, yay. More fun things. So is anyone not registered for the holiday Hangouts? Okay. I was supposed to do this at the beginning, but would you mind? This is so awesome. No. So I'm not supposed to share with everyone that's not on the Hangout. Can you please enter the skincare class?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And that way you can watch Brittany's color class.
Yes.
Watch her color
Thank
class.
you so much. We love you. And you're brand new, so you should be there anyway. She's brand new. Yay! Thank you. Tell her I sent you.
No.
I'm sorry. I should have said it at the beginning. But they really are
Yeah,
trying to
they
keep,
don't want people to know if you're not in it.
Well,
yeah,
because
sort of thing. 'Cause it's their work.
yeah, and also
Register for the 12 hours.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to work on her to do it. So
also
$12.
to be fair to the consultants who actually did pay and all that good stuff. Okay. You don't need to. It's okay. But I just wanted to say, you can go and get it like printed and ring bound and all that stuff, or you could just print it like us classy gals. It costs like 3 cents because everything's on sale for back to school, so I just put it in a binder. But what I wanted to go over real briefly from this was just some key takeaways. So I would love for you guys to go first. So anybody want to share what like a big takeaway was from this past Hangout?
To follow up.
Follow up and follow up and follow up again. Okay.
I don't know if they did it, but it was like the breakdown sheet in there. That was like,
The breakdown sheet, like your number, your magic number.
I guess that's the name of it, but it just tells you like if you need this many contacts.
Yeah, your magic number. So we're gonna go over that.
So good. I'm like, that, yeah. Like I really did the math.
awesome. I know, it's so good. It's so good. What is life? Anybody else? Big takeaways?
Did you restart your thing?
I left it on that whole time, but thank you because I didn't do that earlier today. And I posted the recording to my consultants and it was like, that was the whole thing. It was like 16 seconds long. So thank you.
I
Sorry
like
about
the lead box stuff because I had like an older one from like Michelle Cunningham stuff,
Mhm.
and I kind of felt like I was lying every time I put it out because it says free microdermabrasion facial, and we do it on the hand now.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of felt like I was lying. And it was
So you updated your
yeah, so
facial
I updated
boxes?
my facial
Awesome.
boxes.
Oh, I saw your picture.
Yeah, I like the charcoal mask one.
Sweet, sweet. Anybody else take away? Did anyone not get to watch it yet? Because that's okay. You can watch them
The whole time.
whenever.
Yeah.
I watched one yesterday.
The long
It was like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. So I really do encourage you to do it now though, because the strategies they share are for September. Like it's kind of like stuff you want to get into place right now. So just carve out, the time and maybe, I don't know, in the morning.
I've watched it like 4 times. I just put my headphones on at work and I listen to her talk.
There you go. Awesome. Okay.
Except for that one part.
Do I need to separate you from the rest of the group?
Yeah.
Ah, you should be.
Come to my hangout, we'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I
I wasn't invited. Excuse me.
I do.
Okay. So you guys who have it in front of you, the September points sheet is really a great way for us to be kind of tracking our activity. So the first, I love that they are kind of, first of all, ranked in terms of importance. And so you get 100 points for every day that you get 5 names and numbers from room chatting. And I'm kind of, what's the word? No, I just really like to do things efficiently. So I got the okay from our future national sales director that if you go out one day and you get 30 names, that can count as 5 names over 5 days. 6 days, thank you. I have a spreadsheet for that. Okay. The next one is for your sharing appointments. And you guys, I will just, are you okay with a little tough love right now? Only 2, no. All right, earmuffs. Only 2 people did shares this past week, you guys. What? You're seeing faces you should be sharing. If you don't feel comfortable asking, talk to your director about how to do that in the individual consultation. If you don't want to talk to your director, we have it recorded. So go on to either Brittany's website or our website, and you can see under the sharing the opportunity summer school class, goes over how to ask for that. So I really do recommend that everyone actually share the business with people. Okay?
I have a question about the point sheet.
Yes.
It says for every fall festival booth, is that for like the 3 months that it's happening or just
No,
September?
just September.
Okay.
Yeah, great
You booked
question.
it.
So these are going to
I
be,
know I'm booked. But
But
I
she'll
just-
probably do one for
How
October.
many did
Surely
you
be on
book
the list.
in September?
That would account for September. So I'm at 4.
no, anything that you book in September. It doesn't have to be held in September. Let's say it's a Christmas booth,
It's the
but if
ones that
you book
booked.
it or reserve it in September,
That counts. This
that
month.
counts.
Well, how many have you booked in September? Because you have some in October too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got 2 in
Those
October.
count now.
October.
Anything that you booked this month counts this month.
Right.
It doesn't matter when it's held.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you book on.
I should probably have more than that. I don't remember. I sent out like 18 emails, remember?
Does anyone have questions about the facial boxes or how those work or where you would put
Yeah.
them? Did you guys see that there's a separate video for the, okay, perfect. And the next thing is completing the Discover Your Why, Dream Christmas, and What If I Don't Change Exercises. So who finished those already? Yay! The kind of exploring your why. Yay. So I would love to just take a quick minute, you guys. Take a quick minute and flip to page number 5, if you have it. And it's about discovering your emotional why. And so one of the questions that I think is a really good one to kind of keep in front of your face at all times in your business is the first one, which is what made you decide to join Mary Kay? Do you have a question? To print it? Oh.
It cost me like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
would
know,
just
I
hole
had,
punch it.
it wasn't that much. It was like maybe $7 with my discount.
Because they didn't give you a discount.
So anyway, so what I think is really important, you guys, is that this isn't something that's really very effective in a group. So especially if you were like watching with a group of friends or something like that, this is something you need to kind of take a minute to do on your own. If you're having trouble kind of getting to your emotional why, maybe it should be something you should talk to your sales director with and do a little coaching call about, because it really is something that when you are excited about your business, when you've just gotten through talking with Diana Sumter or went to a Stacey James event, or Mary Beisel was snuggling up in your like living room and cooking your family dinner, you're excited and you're happy and you're motivated. But what happens when you get the third person, like Meredith did today, who was like, no, thank you. And you're doing your booking calls in front of your brand new team member and you're like, what is happening? This has never happened. What is going to move you through? What is going to move you through the times when you don't have the emotional excitement is your emotional why. You need to be able to reconnect with that easily. For some people, it's, something material. But it's important to dig deeper than your material why and get to your emotional why. So material whys are often tied to emotional whys. So I'm not like crying because of the trip to Ireland. I'm crying because it's probably the last trip I'll be taking with my father. He's 78 years old. He's always wanted to go to Ireland. He's always wanted to see our family's place, and he's never taken the time to do it. He has scrimped and saved his whole life and never traveled outside of when he was in the military. And that's the emotional part of that trip for me. And Mary Kay is the vehicle for that. I couldn't afford to do something like that when I was working as a scientist. I couldn't afford to go to South Africa and South Korea. I couldn't afford to get the extra comfort cabin plus, like that $85 would have been like the end of me. But it's really important that you find out what it is for you. And so please take the time right this second, pull out your phone or pull out your calendar or whatever it is. I'm going to do it with you, because guess who didn't do their Discover Your Emotional Why exercise? This guy. So I'm going to take out my calendar, and this is usually something you would want to do not during people time. Schedule it right now. If you did it already, you get a gold star. Good job, Tiffany. Good job, Donna. Good job.
Mine's done. It's right there in front of your face.
Good job, Jen. Gold star. Good job, Jen. Good job, all the Jens and the Donnas and the Tiffany's. The rest of us,
We have like 3 gens in our hub.
pull out your. Are you pulling it out? Are you pulling it out? Pull it out. Are you scheduling it? Why are you looking at me? What's that?
She's hanging on every word.
Schedule your emotional why session. You're doing it tonight. Okay, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Look, I'm writing it down. Call Hannah. She knows I will too. I boxed her last week. I was like, "Where's your present? Bring your present." I did.
There is a purse.
All right.
She did. She wrote it down too.
Oh, I brought mine today. Don't yell at me.
Yay. Thank you guys.
My gifts for
All right.
the thingy.
So we're all back. All right. So here's what I wanted to talk about as it relates to that particular piece, was something that is really common in Mary Kay that we talk about a lot, but I think bears repeating, which is, you okay, Donna?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fear. I know we talk about it all the time, but you guys, I have still to this day, I have experienced consultants who tell me that they're scared about making booking calls. And they're scared about asking people that they know and respect to do sharing appointments with them. And fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is a liar. You really do need to explore why it is you're scared, what it is you're scared about. Because your fear is what tends to hold you back from doing the activity that you need to do, or that you want to do, or that you get to do. So going through the cash Christmas and imagining what it's going to feel like on Christmas Day when you're like, bam, 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 is one piece of that. But the other piece of that is, what if I don't change anything, right? What if I just keep on like doing one booking call every 3 days and telling myself that's consistency, right? And what if I tell myself that I'm doing enough or I'm working so hard? When I really think about it, am I booking, coaching my appointments, sharing the business, and following up with my customers? And if it's not those things, what am I doing? We think about our business a lot. We think about Mary Kay. We think about what we want to do. But how much time are we actually spending doing it? And if we're not spending the time we would like to be spending doing it, a lot of times the reason is fear. So I don't care if you are a elite executive national sales director, or if you are a brand new consultant. There's fear on every level. There's fear no matter what, but you need to decide what you're going to do with it. So when the fear of not changing is greater than the fear of changing, you change. And so what are you going to do? What are you going to choose to do? And I think an important part of this program that we can all take away from it is that it does have a distinct timeline and distinct tasks to do. If you've never has anyone ever never put out a facial box before? Right? So do it. And not saying because you shouldn't have or could have or poo-poo what. No, I'm just saying from now you know about the idea and you saw people who were very successful having done it, right? I put out one facial box in my whole Mary Kay life, and it was when I was in Michigan, and I put it at the place where I went to get my eyebrows waxed. And I had maybe 6 names come out of it, but I booked an appointment with, I think, like 3 of them. One of them held, but from that one party, I got a team member. She was not only qualified, but she was one of the people that helped me finish DIQ. And so, was that facial box worth it? Yeah, mine wasn't even as cute as all this. I had the old microdermabrasion box, and I cut in the top, and that was my facial frame box, okay? So I did go to Hobby Lobby and get cuter ones. Don't worry. But I think it's important, just try it. Just try it. Commit to doing what they offer on this Hangout. Who has never had like an enchantment basket or temptation, whatever the basket's called? Yes. Right. So have you done it yet? Then do it.
Should really take it to the store.
Yes.
It works.
It really works. You guys, I had one last year and it was amazing. I went into the bank physically to deposit my money all the time. And every time I went in there, you guys, I sold a lip gloss one time. I sold a men's little goodies that I put together. I was like floored because I would never in a million years go up to somebody and be like, oh, what you got in your basket? I want it. I would never do that. Yes, but that's what happened. And then the one time the bank teller was like, because she was taking care of me, and I'm like, yeah, you want it? And she's like, oh no, I have lunch at noon. And I was like, okay. So it's really important that you just try this stuff, you guys, because what the business comes down to when you want growth is just being willing. The willingness, you guys. We were doing a training on the 4-hour workday today. And it's just basically what I just said. If you need to spend an hour booking, an hour coaching, an hour customer follow-up, and an hour of, what did I say? Booking, coaching, customer follow-up, and sharing. Right. Ooh, love it. So what's important from that is that Tammy Craig was teaching. And she said when she was a new director, she's a national, when she was a new director, Mary Kay looked over her glasses and said, would you be willing to work an 8-hour workday for me to buy a $50,000 vehicle for you? Back then, that's what pink Cadillacs cost. And you think that's absurd. Like, of course, someone who's, a Cadillac director is going to work 8 hours a day. But it's a really valid question, you guys. And I would challenge you to think about, if you could only spend 1 hour a day on your business, are you focusing on those 4 things? Because what you're willing to do is what you're going to get back. It really is true.
Coaching.
That's what I said. Anyway,
Trying to read upside down.
you
I'm
could
sorry.
Google 4-hour work plan. But the willingness is what it comes down to, because really and truly, you could have all the best hostess packets and all the skills and all the everything perfect. And I gotta tell you guys, look me in the eyeballs right now. None of that matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Are you in front of enough faces? Do you know how to get to faces? Yeah. And if you feel like you don't, go back to the summer school training on booking and lead generation. Are you coaching those people to bring friends? That is a critical inch, you guys. Are you willing to? Because how many times do we book an appointment and we're like, whoo, I did it today. Truth bomb. I have 6 women booked for Saturday, and only 2 of them are because I coached the hostess to bring a friend. That's ridiculous. And I'm going to coach them tomorrow during my coaching hour. But the truth is that we were like, yes, I'm so excited. I have 6 women. I should have 18 booked. Only 1/3 of them are going to come, right? Do I want to see 6 women? Okay, then I should have 18. Right? And so, can I do that? Absolutely. I spent 1 hour booking today and 1 hour booking yesterday. It is not rocket science, you guys. This is so simple. It's not easy. That's where we get confused with our brain. We think, oh, this should be easy. Not easy, because if you are in charge of your own business, you're your own CEO, you need to make it happen. If someone told you, Debbie, we need to pull up this file and do this thing, and you were like, no, I'll squeeze it in tomorrow. Like, you wouldn't do that. No, right? If you had a patient come in and you were like, nah, I just don't feel it. I'll just do it tomorrow. Can you come back? No, right? For any of us who have had outside jobs, it's like we give ourselves so much grace in our business. So what if, like the what if game, what if you didn't let yourself off the hook? What if you really did what you said you were going to do this week? Just this week. I'm not saying for the rest of your life, because it's like diets. I will forever be on it. Every Monday, I'm going to be on a diet for the rest of my life, because by 3:30 p.m., I'm like chocolate chip cookies. But it's true that I have to recommit, right? Because if I didn't, good Lord, where would we be? But I think if you can do anything for a short amount of time, and when you start to see results, you actually follow through with it. Because I will tell you that the reason that I got on the phone and made my hour of booking calls today was because yesterday I slammed out an hour of booking calls and got 4 bookings. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. Duh. Like, how did you get where you are in your business? You all are successful women. You all have the capability, the tools, and the capacity to do it. So it's a choice. It's a choice. And you don't have to choose to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to anything in Mary Kay. We don't expect you to do anything. We're not sad if you don't do anything. It is your choice. But who are you going to be? What are you going to have to do so that when you look at the woman in the mirror next week, you are proud of her? You got to go to work. I think we run away from work a little bit. We think, I don't know what we think. We think like magic is just going to like fall out of the sky. But I cannot tell you how many consultants I've worked with that they come back to me after they've like consistently worked for 3 or 4 days, and they're like, this really works when you do it. And I'm like, I know, right? It's like amazing. I know it sounds really ridiculous, you guys, but just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about what you're willing to do. And if you're not willing to do it, that's fine. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like, you're so terrible, you don't want to make a booking call. It's fine. But if you want more, if you want to change the situation, be willing to do the work, right? I watched Suzanne make booking calls. It was like maybe 2 weeks ago. And that was a big fear overcoming thing for you. You did great. She booked 2 parties. I mean, it's just about kind of stop talking to yourself so much. So I'm sorry for Becca and Meredith who have already heard this story, but I'm going to repeat myself because I think it's a good story. So I was in a race on Saturday, and I'll be honest with you guys, like I had given myself an 11-week training plan, and I did 3 of the weeks of training. So I almost didn't sign up for the race because I was at week number whatever 11 minus 4 is. What's 11 minus 7? Yeah. No, anyway, I was 4 weeks out. I was like a month out from the race, and I hadn't been doing what I wanted to do or that I said I would do or that I committed to myself and the world that I would do. And I felt like, ooh, right? I was just like, I shouldn't do this. What if I hurt myself? What if I drown? What if I hurt someone else? What if
Are you doing the Spartan race?
Oh, the Patriot race.
Yeah, it was a triathlon. So the point of the story is that I was not maybe so prepared. Okay. So I decided to do it anyway. I signed up and I trained really hard for the 3 weeks right before the race, which is not really enough when you're not a naturally athletic person. And so I finished the swim without dying, which was a miracle. Praise Jesus. God is good all the time. And I love cycling, so the cycling part was great, but I pushed really hard because I was like, well, I'm going to suck in the other 2, so I bet, oops, it's recording. I'm going to be really bad in the other 2 things, so I should push really hard in the cycling. And so I did. And so when I got off my bike, my legs were like ready to cramp, and I had to run 6 miles. And so I was like, okay, kind of dogging it the first couple feet, and I finally make it to a water station, and I'm going, and I still haven't seen a mile marker, and I'm like, are they not mile markers on this course? And I finally get to the first mile. And I was like, mile 1? That can't be right. And there were these 2 ladies behind me, all like chitty chat chat, all happy, and they were just like trotting along, chatting, and I'm like, because I'm in pain. And clearly they had done more than 3 weeks of training. So I know they're going to pass me because their voices are getting closer, and then they pass me, and I'm like, meh. So I watched them because it's a very windy, flat course. So they would come into my line of sight and out of my line of sight, into my line of sight and out of my line of sight. I got to the next water station, and they stopped to like physically drink the water. And I always just kind of grab the cup and keep going and splash it and go. And so I caught up with them, and I was really excited. But then they started pulling away from me because they were running faster. And so they're into my line of sight, out of my line of sight, into my line of sight. And then we get into this wooded path thing, and I don't see them. And the little voice, you know the little voice, don't you? I guess it's probably on this side. God. And I'm like, oh, so horrible. I'm never going to see them again. My friends. Judy and Kathy, I named them. No, I didn't. And I was like, you're never going to see them again. And I was like, well, if you go really fast. And then I was like, but then your life will come. Okay. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just meet them at the next water station. It had happened twice already. And this side was like, well, yeah, maybe you'll meet them at the next water station, and maybe you'll even pass them. Maybe you'll just beat them. Maybe you'll just finish faster. And this side was like, you can't even see them right now. You're not going to finish faster than them. Like, I legitimately, I'm not exaggerating, had this conversation in my mind. How many times have you done that right now? Thank you. And so I got to the next water station, and there they were standing, drinking. And so I had caught up with them. And this side won. It was like, well, just keep up with them, and then they won't be out of your line of sight. I was like, I can do that. And so I'm going along, and I'm like hovercrafting, like a real creep. And they turned around, and they're like, do you need to pass us? And I was like, no, you guys have been ahead of me the whole race. I'm just trying to keep up with you because you were like my carrot. I was just like following you guys, and they were like, well, we can finish together. I was like, okay, great. And inside, I was like, damn it. Now I have to finish with them. It's terrible. So I'm keeping up with them, and they're chitty chat, all happy.
How are you talking?
And the one lady's like, well, this is my first one ever. And this one's like, well, I just wanted to make sure I don't walk. And I'm like, I finally started to feel okay. And we had just passed the 4-mile mark, and I'm like, okay, home stretch. I'm not going to die. This is happening. I'm so excited. And I started to feel good, and I got a little extra juice. And I was like, okay, ladies, you're probably going to pass me, but I'm feeling really good there now. So I'm going to like go, and I'll see you in a little bit because I'm sure it's going to fade. And they were like, no, go with it. You got it. You go. And so I started going, and you guys, I finished 5 minutes faster than them. And that's nothing amazing. I was number 214 at the race, okay? There were like 1,000 people. So I am pretty proud that I was in the top quarter. But still, over 200 people went faster than me. I'm not saying that because I'm so amazing. What I'm saying is that, what if I had listened to this guy? What if I had said, well, you shouldn't even try to stay with them because they were faster than you the whole time? What if, not only that, what if I hadn't tried to go at my pace? What if I had hung back and tried to finish with them just because I wanted to finish with them? A lot. But the truth is that we have choices every single day. Every single day. And that's a beautiful thing that we have those choices. We are privileged to have those choices. But I chose to push a little bit harder, and I was so stinking proud of myself. And I saw them when I was walking out, and I was like, ladies, you guys, you were my friends. You walked with me. And they were like, ah! 5 minutes, you guys. It was really significant to me because I thought about it in terms of my business. You know, what if I had said to myself, oh, well, my recruiter's not a director yet, so I better not be a director yet. Or what if I said to myself, well, I never did a cash Christmas anything last year, so I'm not going to do it this year. Or what if I said to myself, well, we're just doing okay, we're eking by, so that's enough. No, you guys. Choose more for yourself. Because here's the thing, if I had gone after it because I had extra juice and then I had petered out, I would have caught up, they would have caught up with me and I would have finished with them.
Did you invite them for
I didn't.
job.
I love it. Gold star. Gold star. I didn't. I didn't give them a card. I'm so sorry.
Were you just too tired?
I didn't have any cards on my phone. Could have, I don't know. But good question. I think that it's important that you do run your own race, is all I'm saying. Is that you need to have that internal conversation with yourself. There's no one out there who's going to be like, tell you the magic thing or the, secret to success. There's no secret about putting in the effort. It's not necessarily about the time, you guys. It's about the intentional time. Because how many times have I said to myself I was going to book, and then whatever happens, let's not even talk about it. Because I don't even know. I don't even know. But the intentional 1 hour time block made all the difference for me in the last 2 days. And that's really important, you guys, because it doesn't have to be like an exhausting, horrifying thing. Let's say you can only commit 15 minutes. You work full time. You've got 9 kids. Everybody's sick and pooping. Whatever.
No.
Pick out what it's going to be for you and don't let yourself off the hook. Don't let yourself say, oh, I'll do it next week or next day or tomorrow. Can you make yourself do something? Yes. If someone else can discipline you, you can discipline you. If y'all weren't people who could be disciplined, you wouldn't be here. Because guess what? Every single woman in this room is here every week. It is not by function of accident that you are the group that's here. You're committed to your business. You're committed to your customers and making them feel amazing. You're committed to the decision to be an entrepreneur. But what that takes is being honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself and say that the business is just going to just happen. It doesn't. You make it happen. You're the CEO. Would you hire you? Sometimes I wouldn't hire myself. And I'm committed this week to being someone who I would hire. Would I pay myself the executive income that Mary Kay is paying me? Because guess what? This company rewards your effort, you guys. If you make 2 bookings a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 bookings a week, friends. So it should not be exciting to me that I have 6 people booked on Saturday. Like, I only hold appointments Tuesday, Saturday, and sometimes Thursdays on the peninsula. So, like, that shouldn't be exciting. But it is. And so why I'm sharing that with you is to be authentic and real. That even as a sales director, we need to focus on our personal business. And what's important about that is we get in front of women who we not only empower, but who potentially join our team. And when you move into the next level on the career path, you earn more money. So Becca went from a 4 to a 9% check because she added 2 more team members and now is a team leader. That's a big deal, you guys, especially because her team did over $6,000 wholesale production last month. That's a big deal. You know, so making 4% versus 9%, that's more than double for 0 extra effort. Yeah, great stuff. Because of the way that our business is structured, you are going to get even more excited the more you do. That's not by accident. Mary Kay was a very smart woman, and she's the one who created our marketing plan. There's a reason that directors earn 26%. You guys, we earn 13% on our personal team and 13% on the unit. Guess who's in the unit? Our personal team. So we get paid twice for you people. You get paid twice for your people when you're a director. And the reason for that is that Mary Kay realized that women who were compensated according to their worth work so much harder or smarter or just more. And so as a consultant, what that means for you is taking the time that you're committing to your business and really focusing. So we've talked about focusing tools before, and I'm almost slipping back into my time management. But I do just want you to know that getting an unfettered, untwittered, unfacebooked, un-Game of Thrones 20 minutes and really focusing on your business. Could you do that? Right? Could you take 20 minutes every day this week? That's not a huge commitment, you guys. But honestly, you can get a lot done in that time. Just booking, and then the next day, 20 minutes coaching those people, and the next day, 20 minutes following up with your customers. It's really important that you're spending that time and sharing the business. If you facialed people that you haven't shared with because the appointment didn't hold, the share didn't hold, or they said, not right now, I'm not really open to that conversation, revisit those. Revisit everyone that you haven't offered. Because guess what? People are wishing, hoping, praying for a way to make money. This season is one of the most stressful financially for most people. And so a lot of women have a new situation or mindset right now. It is the best time to be a Mary Kay business owner because other people want to know what you are doing. And they want to know, are you making money? They want to know, is it worth it? Because people love you and people are going to love you, but they do not want you to waste their time. They don't want you to just bother them with this Mary Kay thing if it's just making you $5 a week. You guys, quick, I know math, especially at the end of the evening, is a hard thing. This will be the last thing. Quick thing that I want to go through. Oh, I don't have my phone. Kristen, can you help me on this one? So, an extra $1,000 a month, right, in profit, let's just say, would be, I know we just talked about 60-40, but let's say that was $2,000 in sales, right? Half is your profit. So $2,000 in sales, I always think of the 2 for $99 deals. That's what most people do. So to me, you divide by 100, so that's 20 faces. So if we were to take those 20 faces and see 6 of them at a time, that would be on the order of 3 to 4 parties. Can we all agree that if you had 3 to 4 parties with 6 people, that would be 18 to 24 people? That would be $2,000 in sales on average and $1,000 in your pocket. Does everyone understand why I, like how I said that? Okay.
3 to 4 parties are coming.
6. Yeah. Hostess plus 5. The reason that I say $1,000 is that for someone who is in corporate America to get $1,000 extra every month, $1,000, it'll be $12,000 a year, and that would be a 10% raise on someone who is making $120,000, right? 10% of $120,000 is $12,000. Okay, so before taxes, y'all. Anybody in here that was making $120,000 before they started the Mary Kay business, or if they are now?
I'm just kidding.
And that's fine if you are, because you know what? Money is as money does, friends. Diana Sumter told me that she likes to get her discount at the Kroger. She's like, I am a multi-millionaire, and if my son so much as buys a stick of gum outside of the Kroger, I'm like, what about our gas discount? It's true. It's true. Anyway, $120,000, 10% raise. Who's ever gotten a 10% raise? Okay, thanks, Megan. No, just kidding. Not common though. Most people get 3 to 4% raises when they get 2. Okay. Well, the most I ever got was a 4% raise. And it's actually physically capped for government employees to get more than, you cannot get more than a 10% raise. And I was shown up not making $120,000 working for the state. Thank you. With a PhD. They don't have the money. I know it's not their fault, but I'm just saying. Nobody was making $120,000. So the point of all that, just to rewind, is that for you to get a 10% raise on a $120,000 salary would get you what working 3 to 4 parties this month would, guys. So real talk. Earmuffs, because I'm going to do some tough love. If you're whining about not making money in your business, if you're mad with yourself or frustrated about what you are or are not doing, take a minute and connect with your emotional why. If $1,000 extra this month would make that difference to you, make a commitment to yourself that you're not going to give up this month. It's the perfect month. People are buying more than they have. People are back to school. Moms are excited about getting new looks. You have every tool in your toolbox that you need. So just go. Okay. I love you guys.